sleep again. They sleep. We wake them up. Wake up, the champs is in. Champion. We want back ends. Back in. Wipe my sins. Wipe it. They can't win. They can't win. No new friends. No new friends. Football fans. Football. They sleep again. They sleep. We wake them up. Wake up, the champs is in. Yeah, yeah. Wake up. Wake up. The cake up. Raise up. Or make us do something we don't want to. Bite down on you. Right now on you. Juke to the left, they dodging it. Can't play the role, you fraudulent. Waiting on the right for the stars in it. 4x4 double parking it. Wanna play like cars in it. Wear the right flag, they forfeiting it. Now I got a ring too gorgeous. Damn, I gotta treat it like.
Hello again, everybody. It is the coach. You're tuned in to Madden 19 on EA Sports. We are moments away from what should be an excellent matchup between the Minnesota Vikings.
First opened in 2002, there's a look inside Ford Field here in downtown Detroit, the Motor City. Today, it's the penultimate week of the regular season, week 16, and we've got a good one in store between the Minnesota Vikings and the Detroit Lions. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. On 1st and 10, Goff. Drops it underneath to Elliott. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. It'll be a 2-yard gain, and it'll bring up a second down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They've become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
And he powers his way up past the 30. DeForest Buckner in on the tackle.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice game like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move.
And he's going to be grabbed and pulled down. DeForest Buckner in there to get him, and that's sack number 18 for him on the year.
I think you saw the same thing that I did there, partner. Remember, he's their backup quarterback, so the last thing they need is to lose another one right here on the sack. Looks like he's going to be okay, though.
Yeah, he looked like he was favoring something in the left leg. Appears to be fine now, but you're right. That O-line, they got to protect it. They'll run it now out of the gun. And they'll get him down here at about the 42. Well, look at the numbers for Coleman in last week's game. 16 carries, 75 yards.
And a rushing title's definitely within sight, so the excitement on the offensive side of the football, I mean, they're bouncing off the walls wanting to get out there. But they also understand that they're going to face some really stacked defenses down the stretch because they don't want it to happen at their
touchdown, Vikings! Tevin Coleman with his 28th touchdown, drawing level with Sean Alexander for the second most in a single year. And the Vikings have taken a first-quarter lead. Rosas good with the extra point. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And Detroit getting set to go now. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Now, the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
All right, that one fell incomplete there, but the best quarterbacks, they'll miss on 40% of their throws, somewhere in that neighborhood, similar to a great hitter in baseball who's going to fail 7 out of 10 times and still have a great year. In this case, you want perfection, but way better that it hits the ground instead of going to an opposite color jersey.
8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on second down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now gives a much better opportunity to convert on third down.
Completes it to Aguilar. Catch number 44 on the year. It's a first down.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route. Drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
A first down carry by Elliott. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 47. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
And an alley to run. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. The numbers for Zeke from last week. 17 carries, 65 yards, and a touchdown as well.
He's been a huge part of their winning streak because he establishes not just an identity and a tone, but the team relies on it. He takes care of the football. He gains yardage for him, chews up.
Elliott going to be hit. He coughs it up, loose football. And the Vikings pick up the football. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line. Oftentimes you say some guys have a knack for creating turnovers. He forced a fumble last week, forces another one.
And one of my good coaching buddies, Frank Delano, always told me, hey, Davis, creating turnovers is not as much about skill as it is about desire.
Oh, I thought it was going to be will, because will rhymed with skill.
Come on.
We went with desire. We'll go with desire.
What are you, the rhyme master now?
And he'll be taken down right around the 34 after a pickup of only a yard.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stopped that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 12 yards there as they move the chains. A lot of running backs, a little bit of a disadvantage when you start talking MVP. Might not be the case this year. You think he's got a shot, don't you?
I do. I think he's got more than a shot. But what he's going to need here down the stretch this late in the season, he needs that big closing game, that game that we're all going to reflect on and go, oh, my goodness, did he put up a number, let's say, 200 plus?
And he's going to get it across the midfield stripe into Lion territory. A solid run on first down, gain of 7, leaves him with a 2nd and 3. Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Second quarter begins with the Vikings holding the football. They're looking at a 2nd and short yardage to start things out. Now they'll run it on the toss. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. That'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And that'll lead here to a 3rd down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes. And they weren't in zone coverage. They were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
12 yards on the return that time, and the Lions will take over. And Detroit getting set to go now. And this is a unit that, to be frank, doesn't look like they've woken up yet. I mean, a punt and a turnover on their first 2 drives.
And I think the game's starting to take shape a little bit now. And I'm going to take it into the basketball world. When you're having trouble scoring or moving the ball in basketball, what do? Let's get it to their best player, right? Find a matchup, create it, exploit it, and try and move the football.
Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs.
I know what you're thinking out there. I know a lot of you are thinking, take a shot downfield. It's a great spot for it. I'd say maybe later in the game, definitely in the second half. But right now, I think they were just trying to get some momentum built. Get a first down, pick it up, and keep moving.
And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line.
Partner, you mind if I take off this headset and put on a coaching headset?
You want to get this running game going?
I want to get this running game going. I'm going down there and saying, gentlemen, we have got to run the football. We've got to get it going right now.
Yeah, to this point in the second quarter, it has been a struggle. And hard running's going to get him over the 40 to the 42. Call it a gain of 5 that time. They'll be left with a third down and about 9 to go. Throwing on third. Gone. He's got the hook up to Lee. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. And that one results in 35 yards. So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. A give to Elliott. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. A minute 58 to go in this first half of play. We'll come back to Ford Field after this. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Detroit. Albert Wilson with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Lions are an extra point away from tying this thing up. And, partner, they found a gap there on the post pattern, and it was in the middle third of the field.
And that's really difficult to do because ordinarily the safeties are back there to prevent that happening. But they found the opening and exploited it.
Bryant tacks on the extra point, and we are tied at 7. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And the decision to bring it out, a good one, as he's up a yard or two shy of the 30. The Vikings offense making their way back out. Now let's give you a look at the playoff picture coming into the weekend in the NFC. And the division title out of reach, we know that. This is as good a spot, Charles, as they're going to get. That first wild card and the number 5 overall seed.
So it's just a matter of adjusting now, isn't it? And what I mean by that is mentally. Every team starts the season thinking, let's go for the number 1 seed, right? Being the top team. Number 2 is pretty great, too, because you get the opening bye, and you're at home after that. But it doesn't matter at this point. Just getting in, and you just sit down and talk to your team. Would you rather go on the road and deal with someone, or would you rather stay at home for the playoffs? Let's go on the road and go take someone out.
25 yards, the pickup there, and also a first down. We've seen him break off a big run already in this game, and for a second, that one looked like it might be another.
Yeah, I think that any defense would say, look, we can't let him get to the second level because sometimes he'll break off the big run on his own, but oftentimes you get additional blocking at the second level, which gets you deeper into the secondary.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll be brought down just outside of the 30. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
This guy's well on his way now to a big game on the ground. It's another good run there. Puts him over the century mark in yardage, and we're still in the second quarter.
Now they'll throw with Taylor. Flushed out right. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. William Jackson with a pick. They're trying to resurrect his confidence. Last week was a disaster. 5 interceptions in that loss, and another pick there.
I played with a quarterback like this before, and he had a tough game, and the head coach said, I'll take him, I'll fix him. The very next game, he started out the exact same way. And the head coach turned to the offense coordinator and said, he's yours from now on. Someone has to take responsibility and work with him and try and get him settled.
And a nice pickup as this one gets him to the 10-yard line. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 2.
We talk about setting a tone or beginning a drive. That run was absolutely textbook. I'm telling you, partner, now they're not just thinking about an easy drive. They're thinking about maybe taking it downfield.
Yeah, started at their 2. Now they've got a heavy amount of breathing room. Over the middle, complete. That's Elliott. And he's dropped just shy of the 25 at the 24. And okay, so much for our halftime break. Apparently we're going to get right back to it. So a touchdown apiece. That's what we have to show at halftime as they head to the locker room. 7-7 our score. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the third. They have a chance to break our tie here as we get a look at the first drive of quarter three.
And it's such a tone setter, isn't it? Because both sides trying to seize momentum to begin the half. What do they have dialed up that'll give them an advantage to move the ball downfield?
Let's find out what they have dialed up.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives him a new set of downs.
2nd and 1, and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the first down.
On first down, it's Taylor. Throw left side, complete to Ingram. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. A gain of 6 there on first.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before you get a good head of steam going.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Now a handoff looking right. And he's going to get this down near the 30-yard line. 17 yards on the pickup there, and the drive will continue.
They're making it look easy out there. Another first down. So far on this drive, let me do this little bit of math here. 4 plays, 3 first downs.
That's a pretty good recipe for success. Flush to his right. And he will avoid the contact as he slides to a stop. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a first down. The last drive, remember, similar situation. He forced a ball into coverage through the pick. He learned better there.
Yeah, similar to a golfer that's confronted with a shot that you just can't make. Sometimes you have to take your medicine, as they say, right? Just pull it down, take off, and go. Don't make something worse than what it was.
2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. And he will take this one into the end zone for a Viking touchdown. Tevin Coleman with touchdown number 29, 2 short of LaDainian Tomlinson's all-time record 31. And the Vikings are able to strike for 6. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. But the bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
So we get a look at the Lions offense as they get ready for their first possession of the second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second half?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
Goff on first down. And he is going to be wrapped up and slung to the turf. DeForest Buckner in there for the sack, and he's closing in on that all-time record. That's number 19 on the year.
That's his 2nd sack of the game, and the best defensive ends, they do their homework as much as offensive guys do. They know how to beat the offensive lineman across from them, what moves they need to do to set them up. This guy's been pretty good at it all game long.
Eluding the pressure right. 6 yards there off the scramble, but it'll still leave him with a 3rd down. The Lions on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This is going to be 3rd and 13. A shotgun snap for Goff. Caught Eifert over the middle. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. It's a gain of 17, and it'll give them a first down.
And there's another completion to the tight end. And let's face it, it is hard to overthrow a 6'6" target.
It is indeed. Quarterbacks like their speed guys. They like that huge 6'6" target that they've got in him.
They really do.
Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. DeForest Buckner in there for the 20th time this year as he continues what could be a record-setting season.
And plays like that really hurt play calling. They had a really nice gain on the previous play, but gave about half the yardage back on the sack. Excellent pressure up front. Nowhere to go with the football. Down he goes.
6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down. Back now at Ford Field. It's the Lions trailing, but with possession of the football as we get set to bring you the fourth quarter. From the gun on third down, Goff. And he's going to be grabbed and pulled down. DeForest Buckner in there for the sack, and that is now 21 for him on the year. Wow. That's number 4, sack number 4. They had 4 last week, so he's been down on the ground a lot.
Partner, they say the eye in the sky does not lie. And that's indeed the case because they watched the game tape from the previous week, incorporated it into their own defensive scheme, and continued to get after this quarterback.
And now this defense will be searching for sack number 5. The Vikings offense making their way back out. Now let's give you a look at the playoff picture coming into the weekend in the NFC. And you can see they're in second place in the division, but they have clinched postseason football. They have the best record among the wild card contenders, but you never really feel comfortable when you're down around that 5 or 6 slot, do you?
No, you don't. You figure you've got to close the deal. You've got to make sure you clinch that spot to make sure you keep your place in the tournament, in the playoffs. But the other part, too, is the coaching staff. All year they've talked about getting a high seed, clinching home field. Now that talk changes to, hey, we're in. That's all that matters. Let's go on the road and take care of business.
Throwing now, Taylor on first down. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
Taylor incomplete on first down. Here's 2nd and 10. Now they try the right side here. And he's got this down to the 35. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Right back to him on first down. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 41. That's going to go as a loss of 6, and it'll set him back for 2nd down. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the fourth quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. The corner, Stephon Gilmore on the stop. Well, the objective there, I mean, yes, the positive gain, that's nice, but work some clock.
Yeah, you're exactly right, but the problem for them is still within a possession, so they can't just sit on it running the ball. They'll have to find a way to throw it effectively as well.
And he'll go down at the 28. He's able to chew up 8 yards on the carry there, but still 4th down upcoming.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
And before this 4th and 3 play, we're going to get whistles and a timeout. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the fourth quarter. And here's a big one now. Trying to hold this lead. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. Now a handoff looking right. And, boy, this is going to be close. That mark looks a little short, and he didn't get there. Brought down by the cornerback, William Jackson. Boy, you talk about not playing it safe. Why were they going for it there, Charles?
It's got to be a full evaluation of their team. Do they trust their defense in this situation? Maybe they think they've given all they can in this game and they don't have anything left. Do they not trust that the other team's quarterback is just so hot that no matter where they get the ball, they go downfield? Remember when Bill Belichick went for it in that game, right, against Indianapolis on the road, and everybody said, why'd you go for it there? I think he just thought to himself, on the other side, if they get the ball, they're going downfield anyway. He was trying to end the game right there with his own offense.
Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. Quentin Dunbar right there on the coverage. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's the perfect word for it, precise. Because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this.
Oh, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off near the 34. He had his eyes on the end zone. He got close. At least he set the offense up nicely, but he's probably mad he didn't take that one to pay dirt.
I agree with you, and you know he's going to get teased because he didn't get it all the way into the end zone. But if they don't score now, if they don't get a touchdown, he won't just get teased. They'll be glaring at him. How'd you not score?
Give him 4 on the carry there. It's 2nd and goal. Time for a break. We'll come back, see what transpires after this. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. They've got it 2nd and goal now as they look for that final dagger. They get it to him running left. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Minnesota. Tevin Coleman becoming just the 2nd player with 30 touchdowns in a single year. And the Vikings capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6. Rosas now to kick this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Lions offense heading out as we give you a look at the playoff race coming into the weekend in the NFC. And with the final fortnight of games upon us, teams jockeying for position. Some of these games really starting to take enormous importance as they always do this time of year.
I like how you use fortnight.
You're impressed, aren't you?
I am impressed. That means 2 weeks if I'm not mistaken, correct?
That does.
But how about exactly what you're talking about? Going down the stretch, how much importance is placed on these games. Look, everyone talks about every game's important. When you get to this time of year, maybe that importance gets quadrupled. And that's where we are right now to see who can make their last run, their last push to get into the playoffs.
It's an 8-yard pickup, and that'll make this a 2nd down. Goff now looks to throw to the sideline, and wow, what a catch there. He doesn't get a lot, but he was able to get the feet down complete. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. From the gun, here's Goff. Aguilar has it. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A pickup of 24 on the 3rd down conversion. 1st down now, but that clock rolling. On 1st down, it's gone. A dump off to Elliott. And he'll be a little shy of the 25 here at the 26-yard line. It'll be a pickup of just 2, and it'll be 2nd down. To the air again. Goff. And his throw is going to be incomplete. Quentin Dunbar right there on the coverage.
And we just saw another example. These cornerbacks have played tight coverage all game long. Might start wanting to think about a few double, triple move routes to try and shake their guys free.
They have, you're right, they have had no room to breathe. Goff now to throw. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie. He's at the 40, the 20, 10.
And Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie has a sense of the dramatic there. seals that game with an INT.
Boy, what a big play for a guy who came out of Tennessee State really with a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, he thought he'd been overlooked even going into college. He's proven everyone wrong once he got to the NFL.
He's going to get it running right. And we're going to get another timeout called by the Lions, as it'll come with 36 seconds to go in half number 2. So they get pushed back to the 11, and here's 2nd and goal.
Slow.
He's going to get it running right. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. And now we're going to get a timeout here called by the defense, as they'll stop him with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game.
Slow.
On 3rd down, it's Coleman. And he's in for the score. And his spectacular season continues as he ties the NFL touchdown record.
He is phenomenal. Well, I've got to laugh here, and I really don't want to because the old school in me is not happy about this score this late, not necessary. But this is Madden, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is how it works.
Rub it in. Have a day.
I mean, what does it matter? These guys who are playing in this game, there are no feelings
Exactly.
there.
They don't have to face the guy. Well, they might if they're in the same room going head-to-head.
But that's
the
about
virtual guys on the screen don't have to face each other after this one.
In that case, run it up.
The Lions offense heading out as we give you a look at the playoff race coming into the weekend in the NFC. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that.
Well, this is taken in. It's complete. Another timeout called by the Vikings now. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this 4th quarter of play. So the big play gets them across midfield now for 1st and 10. Now Goff on 1st down. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. Even with the good footwork, he'll be stopped just inside the 35-yard line. They'll give him 8 on the play, and just like that, it's 3rd down. Well, Charles, it's great to win at home in the NFL. When you win on the road, it's a little extra special, isn't it?
It is because, let's face it, in most cases, you're not expected to go on the road and win in the National Football League. It just doesn't usually compute. So to get out there, get that done, and then head back to your city with one in the victory column, oh, that's a fantastic feeling.